Good day everyone. The topic which have been assigned to us is the Renaissance art. It involves the two famous artists who creates their masterpiece. I am Dayan Micaela Ausa, the leader of Group 2, and I'm with Mary J. Bacalia, Pearl Elizabeth Baldubino, and Mary Grace Bellarmino. Leonardo da Vinci was an Italian polymath, having been a scientist, mathematician, engineer, inventor, anatomist, painter, sculptor, architect, botanist, musician, and writer. He was born on April 15, 1452, and died in May 2, 1519. The two famous paintings of Leonardo da Vinci was Mona Lisa and Last Supper, are among the most widely popular and influential paintings of the Renaissance.
His notebooks reveal a spirit of scientific inquiry and a mechanical inventiveness that were centuries ahead of their time. His notebooks contains diagrams, drawings, personal notes, and observation, providing a unique insights into how he saw the world. Not only did Leonardo write with a special kind of shorthand that he invented himself, he also mirrored his writing, starting at the right side of the page and moving to the left. Only when he was writing something intended for other people did he write in the normal direction. The Last Supper. The Last Supper is Leonardo's visual interpretation of an event chronicled in all four of the Gospels, book in the Christian New Testament. The evening before Christ was betrayed by one of his disciples, he gathered them together to eat, tell them he knew what was coming, and washed their feet, a gesture symbolizing that all were equal under the eyes of the Lord. As they ate and drank together, Christ gave the disciples explicit instructions on how to eat and drink in the future, in remembrance of him. It was the first celebration of the Eucharist, a ritual still performed.
Other than The Last Supper, there is another arguable famous painting of Leonardo da Vinci, Mona Lisa, the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, and the most parodied work of art in the world. He started to paint Mona Lisa in 1503 as a request of Florentine businessman Francesco del Giocondo, who wanted a portrait of his wife, Lisa Gerardini. Some historians believe that Mona Lisa is a self-portrait of Leonardo da Vinci. The original painting of Mona Lisa is surprisingly small, at 77 by 53 centimeters or 30 by 21 inches. It was once stolen in 1911 by a handyman and it has been attacked many times. It has the highest known insurance valuation in art history. In 1960s, it cost $100 million, which is equivalent to $870 million today. King Francois I of France purchased the painting. It was once hung in the Napoleon's bedroom, afterwards in the Louvre Museum. Because of the numerous attacks on Mona Lisa, it is now protected by a bulletproof earthquake-safe case in Louvre Museum. The techniques that Leonardo da Vinci used in Mona Lisa painting is the atmospheric perspective, producing the illusion of profound depth. He also applied sfumato to create a subtle gradation between colors. Sfumato, which translated literally from Italian means vanished or evaporated, creating imperceptible transitions between light and shade. There are mysteries behind Mona Lisa's painting that is still talked about until now. It has been discerned that there are letters painted on Mona Lisa's eyes. The letters LV in the right eye, which are Leonardo's initials, while on the left eye are letters C, E, and B. The bewitching smile of Mona Lisa. In 2000, the scientist at Harvard University explained that when the viewer looks at her eyes, the mouth is peripheral vision, which sees black and white. But the smile disappears when you look straight at it. And it changes when you look away from it that makes it seem so alive. Another mystery is the unknown bridge at her back, which was claimed it depicts the Baguio Bridge over Trebia. Did you know that it took approximately 16 years to paint the Mona Lisa? Leonardo da Vinci painted it between the years of 1503 and 1519. However, some art historians believe that Leonardo da Vinci started the artwork later than 1503, while the others agree that portrait was never finished at all.
Raphael, or shall we say Raffaele Sanzino or Raffaele Santi, was born on April 6 in the year 1483 at Urbino, Duchy of Urbino. He died at April 6 in the year 1520 at Rome, Papal Italy. He is a master painter and an architect of the Italian High Renaissance. Raphael is best known for his Madonnas and for his large figure compositions in the Vatican. His works is admired for its clarity of form and ease of compositions and for its visual achievements in Neoplatonic ideal of human grandeur. The Sistine Madonna, one of Raphael's work. This is probably painted at 1513. This is different from all Raphael Madonnas. It's majestic. The standing figure is the apex of a triangular group of figures including Saint Barbara on the right and its beautiful colors of gold, blue, and green, and Saint Sixtus on the left with the red lined cloak. Sistine Madonna. They are presented in a cube de theater apparition revealed by drawn curtains. A curtain rod at the top completes the illusion, as though the curtain is being drawn back to reveal this vision. The cloud-filled space they inhabit is meant to be infinite, indicated beautifully by the irresistible little angels at the bottom, who lean their arms on the lower edge of this opening like children in a swimming bath. As an English writer once put it, they're charming. It is Raphael's graceful skill that keeps the charm just this side of Saturn.
What symbolism does Madonna represent? The Madonna and the colors she bears are the symbol in virtue, virginity, innocence, and purity of spirit. His earliest known work, a pen and ink landscape drawing, was sketched in 1473. In Verrocchio's workshop, he was exposed to theoretical training and a wide range of technical skills including metalwork, carpentry, drawing, painting, and sculpting. His artistic talents were evident from an early age. At age 14, he began an apprenticeship with the noted sculptor and painter Andrea del Verrocchio of Florence. There are 5 surprising facts about Leonardo da Vinci. Number 1, he didn't go to school. Number 2, he liked to dissect corpses. Number 3, his masterpiece was destroyed. Number 4, he wrote in reverse. And number 5, Bill Gates bought Leonardo da Vinci's notebook. Did you know Leonardo was able to write with one hand and draw with the other hand at the same time? 8 intriguing facts about the Mona Lisa. It may be unfinished. It was once believed to be a self-portrait. It once hung in Napoleon's bedroom. It was stolen in 1911. Pablo Picasso was one of the suspects in the theft. It has been attacked multiple times. It came to America at the request of Jackie Kennedy. What is Leonardo da Vinci's favorite color? It is said that Leonardo used to wear bright colors to make the complexion look fresh. Pink was especially his favorite. His name was not really Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's full name at birth was Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci, which means Leonardo, son of Ser Piero from Vinci. To his contemporaries, he was known just as Leonardo or the Second Florentine since he lived near Florence. He was an illegitimate child, fortunately. Born in a farmhouse outside the village of Anciano in Tuscany on April 15, 1452. Leonardo was a child of Ser Piero, a wealthy Florentine notary, and an unmarried peasant woman named Caterina. He received little formal education. Leonardo was largely self-educated and received no formal education beyond basic reading, writing, and mathematics. His first commissions were never completed. In 1478, Leonardo received his first independent commission to paint an altarpiece for the chapel of Saint Bernard in Florence, Palazzo Vecchio. In 1481, he was commissioned to paint the Adoration of the Magi for the monastery San Donato in Florence. However, he was forced to abandon both commissions when he relocated to Milan to work for the Sforza family. Under the patronage of the Sforzas, Leonardo painted the Last Supper in the refectory of the monastery of Santa Maria delle Grazie. Leonardo would spend 17 years in Milan, leaving only after Duke Lodovico Sforza's fall from power in 1499.
He was an accomplished musician, perhaps predictably for an individual who excelled in everything he tried. Leonardo had the gift for music. According to his own writings, he believed music to be closely related to the visual arts, as it was similarly dependent upon one of the five senses. According to Giorgio Vasari, a contemporary of Leonardo's, he sang divinely without any preparation. He also played the lyre and the flute, often performing at gatherings of the nobility and at the house of his patrons. His surviving manuscript contains some of his original musical compositions, and he invented an organ, viola, harpsichord instrument that only came into being in 2013. His biggest project was destroyed. Leonardo's most substantial commissioned work was for the Duke of Milan, Ludovico il Moro, called Gran Cavallo or Leonardo's Horse in 1482. The proposed statue of the Duke's father, Francesco Sforza, on horseback was more than 25 feet tall and intended to be the largest equestrian statue in the world. Leonardo spent nearly 17 years planning the statue, but before it was completed, French forces invaded Milan in 1499. The clay sculpture was used for target practice by the victorious French soldiers, shattering it to pieces. He was a chronic procrastinator. Leonardo was not a prolific painter. Because of his abundance of diverse interests, he would often fail to complete his paintings and projects. Instead, he would spend his time immersed in nature, conducting scientific experiments, dissecting human and animal bodies, and filling his notebooks with inventions, observations, and theories. It is thought that a stroke left Leonardo's right hand paralyzed, cutting short his painting career and leaving works such as the Mona Lisa unfinished. As a result, only 15 paintings have been attributed either in whole or in large part of him. This idea had little influence during the period. Although he was highly respected as an artist, Leonardo's scientific ideas and inventions gained little traction among contemporaries. He made no effort to get his note published, and it was only centuries later that his notebook, often referred to as his manuscript and codices, were made available to public. Because they were kept secret, many of his discoveries had little influence on scientific advancement and in the Renaissance period.
Our ninth fact of Leonardo is he was charged with sodomy. In the year 1476, Leonardo and three other young men were charged with this crime of sodomy in an incident that involved a well-known male prostitute. It is a serious accusation that could have led to his execution, but the charges were dismissed for lack of evidence. But in the aftermath, Leonardo disappeared, only re-emerging in the year 1478 to take on a commission at a chapel in Florence. Our last fact about Leonardo is that he spent his final years in France. When Francis I of France offered him the title of Premier Painter and Engineer and Architect to the King in the year 1515, Leonardo left Italy for good. It gave him the opportunity to work at a leisure while living in a country manor house called Clos Lucé near the king's residence. And here are some facts about Raphael. Raphael was admired for his well-rounded artistry, which saw him excel at history paintings, religious paintings, and even portraiture. His mastery of composition and color continue to be influential to this day. Another fact is that his father was also a painter. Raphael had art in his blood. His father, Giovanni Santi, was a court painter in Raphael's hometown. As such, Raphael most likely spent his formative years in contact with the court. Santi paid altar pieces and portraits for the court of Urbino, but died when Raphael was only 11 years old. This left him an orphan, and his mother had passed when he was only 8 years old. Raphael was likely too young to have picked up much of his artistic practice from his father, but certainly gained a great appreciation from the arts and humanism from an early age.
Raphael was regarded as the truly trained artist by the age of 17, but he wasn't yet prepared to open his own studio. Instead, he took the traditional route of painters at the time and worked as an assistant in a well-known workshop. In Raphael's case, he intended relocating to the city of Perugia and working with Pietro Perugino, one of the most famous artists of the early Renaissance. Raphael is famous for his endearing attitude, in contrast to Michelangelo, who was renowned for his glum and moody demeanor, which is spending time in Urbino's court. And it served him well. It not only helped him gain favor with the wealthy patrons who bought his paintings, but it also helped him become strong leader for his own group of creatives. Evidently, the ladies found him to be pretty charming. Raphael is reported to have had numerous lovers despite the fact that he never married. Margherita Luti, a baker's daughter, was among the women in his life with the longest relationships. It thought that his painting of her, La Fornarina, was in his studio when he passed away. He had a lot of assistants. Once Raphael became a master in his own right, he built up a studio of 50 assistants that was quite impressive. As was common practice at the time, his assistants were all well trained to take his drawings and transformation into a finished pieces in his time. Raphael ran a well-oiled machine, which helped him make advances in his most important commissions. As the head of the team, he would delegate out standards. The efficiency of the team meant that Raphael had been working on the time of his death. In fact, the Sala of Constantine at the Vatican was not even begun until Raphael had died. Instead, these paintings are the work of Raphael's top assistants, Giulio Romano, Gianfrancesco Penni, and Raffaellino del Colle, who executed them after his designs.